Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lainey, and today I am ranking my top 5 favorite Jedi and my top 5 favorite dark side users. And I say dark side users because I didn't really want to be limited to just Sith because there's like a lot of technicality in there. So I was like, we'll just go with dark side users so it opens it up to more villains and more people that actually wield the dark side, but they're not labeled as actually Sith, you know? Also, this is all going to be canon, and I didn't really expect it to all be canon when I was thinking of my list, but the more I started listing off my favorites, the more I realized that they were all just in canon anyway. I didn't really get too much into Legends or the EU or anything like that, so this is a pretty straight up list, but I think you guys will be surprised by a few of the Jedi and dark side users that I included in both lists. We're gonna start with Jedi, and we're gonna start with number 5, and number 5 is Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't even know if I have to explain why Qui-Gon is amazing, but forget the lineage that came from Yoda and then to Dooku and then to Qui-Gon and whatever, but Qui-Gon specifically was everything, in my opinion, everything that the Jedi could have hoped to be. That I feel like he was what they were supposed to be. He perfectly handed down his wisdom and his ability to understand the Jedi, what they were supposed to be, onto Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was an amazing Padawan to him, and Obi-Wan is an amazing master, and you know, I really wish that we had gotten more of Qui-Gon, not so much as like I wish he had survived, which I do, but for the story there's no way Qui-Gon survives, you know, so I really hope that we do get more of him in the future. I know that we will be getting more of him in Tales of the Jedi, which comes out in the fall, I believe, and we will get to see some episodes of him when he was Dooku's Padawan, which is really exciting. That's something that we haven't seen before, so I'm super excited to get more into Qui-Gon's story. Qui-Gon, number 5, solid, easiest decision. Number 4, this one might come as a surprise to you guys, and on my Instagram I did a poll and I asked everyone to try and guess my top 5 favorite Jedi, but nobody guessed this one Jedi, and I'm not really surprised because a lot of people forget about him because he is in a show that's kind of controversial that not everyone enjoyed. My number 4 is Kanan Jarrus, and I think he is absolutely amazing. Kanan is another Jedi that I feel like knew how to balance being a Jedi and the ideals of the Jedi, and also being able to have attachments and relationships like he did with Hera and how he did with Ezra. He was attached to Ezra. He was a father figure to Ezra, and we see that play out in Rebels. That's why I think Rebels is such a great show, because even if you don't like the animation or whatever, it still is a really interesting show, and I think it shows us another side of a Jedi that was able to have compassion and relationships with people and fall in love like he did with Hera, and still be able to be selfless. His emotions don't hold him back. They don't impair his judgment. Kanan Jarrus, my number 4. I love him. Rebels is underrated. If you haven't seen it, you have to go watch it. Number 3, Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka is amazing. I think she is such a well-written character. Dave Filoni absolutely outdid himself with Ahsoka. From having her be an annoying Padawan to Anakin in the beginning, and then by the time season 7 rolls around, she is a fan favorite. I feel like Ahsoka is in almost everyone's top 5 list. Maybe not everyone, but Ahsoka appears in a lot of people's top 5 list, maybe even their top 3. She's some people's favorite Jedi, and I think that's super cool for someone before The Mandalorian came out. For a character that had never even dipped into live action, she was a fan favorite to everyone. I think she's a really interesting character, from leaving the Jedi Order and coming back in Rebels. Ahsoka's fighting style is super fun and interesting to me. I love watching her fight. When she gets her 2 lightsabers, that's probably the best version of Ahsoka we can get, when she ends up adding another lightsaber so that it fits her fighting style more. You guys are going to tell me what her fighting style is specifically, but it is the one that involves more acrobatic fighting, so I know you guys are going to tell me what it is. I just don't know what the specific name is. Ahsoka Tano is my number 3. I love her. I can't wait to see her show. I think her show is going to blow everyone out of the water. Me, personally, I think that this show will be number 2. It'll be The Mandalorian, and then Ahsoka will be the second best show, specifically because Bryce Dallas Howard is at the helm for that show, and I think the world of her, and Dave Filoni obviously is going to be super involved in that show. I'm really excited for that one. Number 2 2 is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Of course, Obi-Wan is my second favorite Jedi. The number 1, you guys will be able to guess easily, but Obi-Wan, I think it's a no-brainer. Behind Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan is also exactly what the Jedi are meant to be, and even though he didn't entirely have attachments the way that Kanan did, Obi-Wan did have attachments, like with Anakin and like with Satine, but he was able to not really hold onto them as tightly as maybe Kanan did, and he was able to not allow them to cloud his judgment, and I think he's everything that the Jedi wanted to be during that time period of the Galactic Republic. Now, Kanan is a different kind of Jedi where he was able to completely throw the relationship, no attachment ideal out the window, and he was able to be an amazing Jedi in that way. But Obi-Wan was able to, even with the you can't have attachments ideal, he was able to still be an amazing Jedi and kind of balance out his relationships, and he's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's awesome. He is such a fun and interesting character, but I feel like I don't really need to explain why Obi-Wan's my number 2. Number 1, no-brainer, it's Anakin Skywalker. He is the chosen one. He is the strongest Jedi, in my opinion. Even though he loses to Obi-Wan a lot, I think Anakin's fatal flaw is his emotions. Anakin is the best. I think he is the most amazingly well-written character in all of Star Wars. He is my favorite. He always will be, and I feel like I don't really have to explain why. Anakin's the best. Come on. He is. You have to admit that he is. Before I forget, I hope you guys can see this. This is one of the coolest shirts that I've ever owned in my entire life because it is literally Mando, but it's like mural art of Mando, and it's super cool because this is his entire helmet, and then there's like little Mandos inside. I love the shirt. My mom got it for me. Moving on to my top 5 favorite dark side users. This is a pretty straightforward list. I really, really like the dark side users. I think that they are super interesting characters, but you don't want to hear me talk about that stuff. Number 5 is Darth Sidious. Palpatine will always be the big bad. He has his hand in everything, and even though I think it's silly that the Jedi could never figure out that Palpatine was a Sith Lord.
A Sith Lord?
He is like the perfect villain. You don't ever feel any sympathy or compassion for Palpatine. He's super easy to dislike. I like how Palpatine always has a way of manipulating who he wants to manipulate, and at the end of the day, he always gets the upper hand, except in Return of the Jedi, but we won't get into that. Number 4, we're going back into the Clone Wars, is Asajj Ventress. Now, she is incredible. As soon as I saw Ventress on screen the first time I watched the 2005 Clone Wars, I was blown away. I was like, that is so cool. It's cool that Dave Filoni added in that Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan, but it's still really, really cool too that he made Asajj Ventress Dooku's Padawan. Sorry, Dooku's apprentice. I love that Ventress started off as a youngling, and then she was a Padawan, and then her master was killed, and then she moved out of the Order, and then Dooku brought her in, and she became Dooku's apprentice, and then Dooku tried to kill her, and then she left the Order. She left the dark side, kind of started becoming a bounty hunter, and then in The Dark Disciple, which I haven't read, but I've like read bits and pieces online, she falls in love with Quinlan and, you know, all that stuff. I think Asajj is super, super cool. She's also really cool in the 2003 Clone Wars, if you guys haven't watched that. She's basically the reason why I say my top 5 favorite dark side users, because she's not technically a Sith, but yeah, Ventress. Number 3, Count Dooku. Dooku is so cool. I really love him as a character. I think it's really interesting that he was Master Yoda, literally the Grand Master of the Jedi, and then he ended up falling to the dark side. I think it's a really cool thing that Dooku, even though some of his ideals were kind of true, the way that he felt about the Jedi and the Republic and everything, I think that makes him really interesting, and his reasoning for joining the dark side and everything. His fighting style is so cool. He has one of my favorite lightsaber hilts ever. Number 2, Darth Maul. Thank God for Dave Filoni bringing back Darth Maul and saying, no, we're not done with him. He's a sick character. Let me take care of him. And now he's, I think, one of everyone's favorite Sith, dark side villains ever. Maul is amazing. I think he's crazy, and I think he is a perfect example of what it is to be truly, truly all evil, because never, not in the Clone Wars and not in Rebels, does anyone ever think, oh, he might not be that bad. No, Maul is insane, and I think that's what makes him really cool. Number 1, no brainer. If he's not your number 1, then I can't help you there. Darth Vader is my number one of all time. He's probably one of my favorite characters of all time in any movie series. Maybe he is. Darth Vader is the most amazingly well-written villain of all time. Like I said, Anakin's one of the best written characters. He was probably the most feared person in the galaxy when he was Vader. Everyone in the world, even if they don't like Star Wars, they know who Darth Vader is. And it's because he's the best. He's literally the best. Unfortunately, nobody guessed right. Nobody guessed that Kanan was in my top 5 favorite Jedi. A few of you got really, really close with my dark side users. I think one of you, I'm sorry, I forget your name right now. The only thing you got wrong was that Ventress and Palpatine were switched, where Ventress was my 4 and 5, but that was the only thing. So great job to you guys that almost got it right. That is really, really hard thing to do. But I really want to know what your top 5s are. What's your top 5 favorite Jedi? What's your top 5 favorite dark side users? Let me know in the comments because I really want to know. I love talking about this stuff with you guys, and some of you will probably mention people that I forgot about, but I really hope not. Let me know who your favorites are, and let me know if you liked my list. If you guys like this video and you want me to rank more characters in Star Wars, like my top 5 favorite clones or bounty hunters or whatever, let me know and I will absolutely do more of these things because this was really, really fun. If you like this video, if you want to see more videos, more Star Wars, and just more of me, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and you won't miss a single video that I post. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!